Here.
Bear.
Here.
Harness.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Scarborough.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Weir. The Planning Commission.
Call to order.
Hold on.
Call the planning commission meeting to order, 11/13/12.
Weir.
Here.
Ring.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
And Bear.
Here.
Will you all please stand for Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a joint public hearing with the Planning Commission for these special uses tonight. This will be the opportunity to go. Chairman Weir, would you like to?
Okay. Start by opening the public hearing for SUP 201-21005, 1500 Washington Street, Suite 110, and 6630 Jefferson Street, the very thing and the very thing for her. Invite all who wish to speak on the matter to approach.
Would you like to
Seeing
speak?
none, I'll close the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing for SUP 2012-1009 for 14891 Washington Street, Suite B, upscale seconds. And invite anyone who wishes to speak on the matter, please come forward.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Amber Burke. I am with the law firm of Odin, Feldman, and Pittleman, and I'm counsel for the applicant, secondhand. This is for application for secondhand retail sales at 14891 Washington Street. It is upscale seconds. They're an upscale consignment boutique featuring high-end pre-owned women's clothing, handbags, shoes, and accessories. They're members of the community. They are supporters of the community, employing folks that live here in Haymarket, and real excited to be here tonight, and just want to say thank you for your time, and we are available to answer any questions you might have. Thanks.
Anyone else wish to speak on the matter? Close the public hearing. Now open the public hearing on the ordinance to amend the town code, sections 18-71, 58-468, 58-553, and 58-554. Anyone who wishes to speak on any of the matters, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion on SUP 201-21005.
I move that the Planning Commission forward SUP 201-21005, special use permit for secondhand retail sales at 15000 Washington Street, suites number 110 and 6630 Washington Street, to the Town Council with a recommendation of approval in accordance with Town Code Section 58-178-5.
Do we have a second?
Second.
No, Planning Commission.
Planning Commission.
Second.
Roll call, please.
It's going to be one of us.
Bear.
Aye.
Ring.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Bear.
Aye.
Now we'll entertain a motion for SUP 2012-1009 for 14891 Washington Street, Suite B, upscale seconds.
I move that the Planning Commission forward SUP 2012-1009, special use permit for secondhand retail sales at 14891 Washington Street, Suite B, to the Town Council with a recommendation of approval in accordance with Town Code Section 58-1785, contingent upon the applicant occupying only that portion of the building previously occupied by Arthur's Court, and full separation of the acquired space from the remainder of the structure and an inspection by the town building official.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Weir.
Aye.
Ring.
Aye.
Robinson. Bear.
Aye.
I'll now entertain a motion on the town-initiated ZTAs.
I move that the Planning Commission forward amendments to Section 58554, Certificate of Appropriateness, Section 58553, Boundary of the Old Historic District of Haymarket, Section 58468, Rules and Regulations of Board of Zoning Appeals to the Town Council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Weir.
Aye.
Ring.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Bear.
Aye.
Any further business for the planning commission? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right. The next item on our agenda is citizens' time. I'd like to come up and speak to the council and just present your name and address.
Hi, my name is Mike Finesse. I live at 6301 Almond Place, and I was the chief election officer for this absentee precinct that was held here at the town hall during the last 2 weeks of October. I just wanted to come by and pass on a great thanks to everyone from the council and especially from staff. I mean, the assistant staff gave us for answering the phones. Many people called in to the office here about the hours that we were open and directions of the place, and we do appreciate their helping on that. And also to the town manager, Gene, for all the assistance on the weekends and getting the Wi-Fi ran up. During the day of the storm, we were open that day, and he had someone assist us in getting the Wi-Fi up that morning so we could, on a Tuesday, I think it was, the day where everybody was shut down in government, we still processed 100 voters here that day. So we do appreciate everyone's support. And just a general total, we had over 3,400 county citizens vote in this precinct over those 2 weeks. And that's larger than any precinct in the county that voted on election day. So we really processed a lot of voters, and it did take away from the impact of all those long lines and delays at the precincts during election day. So again, much thanks to all the staff here and the town council for giving us this facility, and hopefully we can work this in future years. So thanks again. Any questions anyone has about our little 2 weeks here? Again, so just thanks again.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Any other citizens that like to address the council?
Not just citizens. I would ask the council's indulgence to reopen the planning commission meeting. If it's still here. Although it's not on the agenda, it occurs to me that the SUP for upscale seconds would not be complete without forwarding of the zoning permit and certificate of appropriateness as well.
I don't think there's any objection.
No.
Go ahead, sir.
Planning commission meeting. I would move before the zoning permit application and certificate of appropriateness. Make sure I'm looking here. For upscale seconds, 14891 Washington Street, number B, with a recommendation for approval. Second?
And did you catch the certificate of approval?
Second.
Okay. Second.
Roll call, please.
Robinson. Weir.
Aye.
Ring.
Aye.
Bear.
Aye.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anybody else for citizens' time? If not, we'll move on to the manager about the stream revitalization and Angler Environmental.
They had to cancel this meeting.
Oh, okay. Move on to Ed, the tree dedication. Here.
It doesn't appear he is.
No.
we just want to discuss the issue.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to have any discussion or motion to approve planting of the street.
Is it behind or beside the caboose? Is that what this is supposed to be, this blur of a map that we have? Yours is a little lighter
Yes.
than mine.
It's still.
Mine's awfully dark.
That's what.
Yes, it's caboose adjacent.
Looks like 2 parking spaces down toward Gene Parks.
Yeah.
Move the table till next month.
Second.
Motion on the floor that's been seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item C, the museum update. I believe I did see Fran. Hi, how are you?
Thank you.
Good.
I just wanted to let you know that next month there's going to be a pretty extensive report submitted for hopefully your approval for 2013. What the plan is tentatively is that 2013 is the 130th anniversary of the construction of the old schoolhouse, and so what I would really love to see happen is for it to turn into use for children again. Children meaning a range of all ages, literally from preschoolers to teens, but not strictly exclusive as a children's museum. There would be programs oriented towards adults and families as well, but mainly returning it to a use for the children. What we need to do is really take a strong look at the way the museum is right now and what it needs to be a real museum. Because right now it doesn't meet a lot of different standards, that things are constantly changing, and even within the time period that I've accepted the position to right now, even the organization that sets the standards for museums has completely changed names and changed focus. So that's something that I'm going to put forth to you all and ask you hopefully to review and consider in a positive light. One of the things that I really do kind of need to know basically is what your vision is for the museum. And hopefully the two will mesh and we can go forth in a wonderful direction. But, if it's a different direction, then I also need to be able to prepare to hit the ground running for that. So,
Okay. All right.
any questions from anyone?
Any questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Fran, I'm sorry, I was still reading your report, so I apologize. I do have a quick question.
Sure.
One of the last things you mentioned in your report, you're talking about basically revitalization or recreation of the website, and especially making it smartphone or mobile phone
Right.
compatible. Have you started looking into that as far as costs or?
Not as far as costs are concerned. I've got a group of people that I'm going to tap to ask what is the best software to be using, because it could be something that I can manage myself, hopefully, and it could be very, very simple. So that's I've got a whole group of feelers out there, including even one for a software situation where there is a monthly fee, but we can manage to get a quarter of the year for free, where we do a phone app that's web-based, so it's nothing that we quite have to kick into, so that even if we're open for children, all of the exhibits will have a broad range of appeal. Adults could come in at any point and just download this particular app for free and get an adult-oriented tour of the exhibits and things going on. So I'm looking at it from a huge spectrum and trying to make it everything from handicapped accessible, children-friendly, to green and the whole 9 yards, something that I hope the town would be proud of. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our agenda items. Item 1, special use permit. I think we have a draft motion that Rashawn made for the town council, handout that they provided.
I move that the town council approve SUP 20121005 for secondhand retail sales at 15,000 Washington Street, Suite 110, and 6630 Washington Street, as described on the special use permit application dated October 5th, 2012, pursuant to Sections 58-178-5 of the zoning ordinance. And I further move that the SUP shall remain in effect for a period of 1 year to renew automatically for additional periods of 1 year, but expressly conditioned upon the following. Council may require, upon a majority vote after notice to the applicant, for the applicant or present property owner to submit a new application for an SUP, which shall be treated in all respects as a new and different application, subject to approval or disapproval in accordance with general principles of law for a new application. If such notice is given to the applicant or present property owner, this SUP shall terminate automatically without further notice or action by the council 60 days from the giving of such notice.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Any discussion?
For clarification purposes, on our written sheet, we have the second property listed as 6630 Washington Street in 2 places and 6630 Jefferson Street in a 3rd place. Shall we make sure we know what the address is? And make sure it's correct on...
Jefferson Street.
It should be Jefferson.
So then, shall we correct it in the final draft of the motion before it's signed by the mayor?
Yes, please.
Would you consider us modifying the motion to
Yes.
correct the street address?
Just don't make me read it all again.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Aye.
Bear.
Aye.
Harness.
Aye.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Tobias.
Yes.
Now, special use for upscale seconds.
I move that town council approve SUP 20121009 for secondhand retail sales at 14891 Washington Street, as described on the special use permit application dated October 9th, 2012, pursuant to Section 58-178-5 of the zoning ordinance, contingent upon the applicant occupying only that portion of the building previously occupied by Althers Court, and full separation of the occupied space from the remainder of the structure, and an inspection by the town building official. I further move that the SUP shall remain in effect for a period of 1 year to renew automatically for additional periods of 1 year, but expressly conditioned upon the following. Council may require, upon a majority vote after notice to the applicant, for the applicant or present property owner to submit a new application for an SUP, which shall be treated in all respects as a new and different application, subject to approval or disapproval in accordance with general principles of law for a new application. If such notice is given to the applicant or present property owner, this SUP shall terminate automatically and without further notice or action by the council 60 days from the giving of such notice.
Motion on the floor. Second. Seconded. Any discussion?
Could we just make sure that the applicant is aware of the sign ordinances, specifically the removal of sandwich board signs after hours? It's been a pet peeve of certain members of council, and I noticed that that sign was out this evening before I came to the meeting.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Harness.
Yes.
Scarborough. Yes. Tobias.
Yeah.
Okay. ZTAs.
I move that the town council adopt the attached ordinance to amend the Code of Haymarket, Virginia. That was nice and simple.
That was short and sweet. Second.
Motion on the floor. Any discussion?
This is your resolution 2012-1113-1, correct?
Sorry, I'm looking in the wrong packet, I guess.
Well, we've got 3 different copies of the same stuff.
I know.
It's different, so I'm trying to make sure that we're all on the same pages.
I knew that was too simple.
Sorry.
There's a resolution in the
Yeah, I was in the wrong one. Shay, your turn.
So the first ordinance is the one she's talking about, this one.
113-1 and 113-2.
What's the resolution?
3-2.
We've got a resolution 113-1, and we've got an ordinance 113-1. We've got a resolution 113-2, and we've got an ordinance 113-2. Which one are you talking about right now?
I thought it was all nicely combined into one.
But it's not.
Well,
We have two
that's where I
resolutions and
said,
4 ordinances.
yeah. That's where I withdraw my motion, and it's all on you.
Well, I have a question about the ordinance as written on 113-1.
So why don't
Why don't we discuss it first? Would that be okay with you, sir?
that'd be great.
Ordinance 113-1 in the blueprint, the added text says, unless the local maintenance code official. I'm assuming we mean our local building official versus maintenance code official. I don't think we have anybody titled as maintenance code official. Bob? Is your title building official or maintenance code official or all of the above, or how many titles do you have?
Building official, all above.
All right,
That's the
well,
official language in the building code. That's what they try.
okay. Never heard you referred to as such, Jim.
Add another hat on him.
To your question, how would it straight from statute?
Thank you.
All right. Any more clarification on the ordinances or resolution? Lisa, can you simplify this?
I got it.
Okay. Good.
I'm just going to do it quick and easy, Rebecca. Just for you. Make a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-1113-1 to amend the Code of Virginia as per the ordinance so enumerated ORD 2012-1113-.
I think he meant, he was trying to reference all of these.
Well, then we shouldn't have written the way that we will. Well, what do we want to
And
do?
why do we have it as two separate ones?
I don't know, but we can adopt it as two separate ones. We're entitled to it, only we can adopt it.
We have a motion before, do we get a second for discussion?
Second.
There we go. Discussion?
This doesn't even go with the ordinance. That's what, I had already read that, which is why I was making sure Rebecca was being clear on which one we're passing. Because this is the one about certificates of appropriateness and deadly importance. This one we haven't even talked about yet. So this one goes with the special use
I
that we
think
haven't
he's
discussed.
misnumbered it. The resolution is supposed to cover all the ordinance amendments. And I don't know why it was numbered like that.
So this is the second ordinance. This is not properly adopted, properly. Got it. So set that aside. Motion stands as it is.
Okay. We have one second. Any
Second.
further discussion? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Harness.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Bias.
I got you. Yes.
All right.
Make a resolution 2012-1113-1B. I'm just changing the B, which reads the exact same as -1, to adopt ordinance number ORD 2012-1113-2.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Harness.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Bias.
Goodbye.
Yes.
All right. Motion carries.
All right. Since Moshan has made it hard on us. Resolution 2012-1113-1C, as in Charlie, which reads the same as one with no letters, to adopt ordinance number ORD 2012-1113-3,
Second.
section 58-468.
Motion been seconded. Any discussion? all straight on what we're doing here?
Yeah.
So, all right, roll call vote, please.
Aiken?
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Harness?
Yes.
Scarborough?
Yes.
Tobias?
Yep. And last but not least, 201-21113-1D, to adopt ordinance ORD 2012-1113-4, section 58553.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken?
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Harness?
Yes.
Scarborough?
Yes.
Tobias?
Yep.
All right. Board of Zoning Appeals appointments. Everybody have
Do you just
pencils,
want a
please?
motion for discussion?
Sure.
A motion that council submit Eric Matthews, Robert Day, and Jason Grog to the Circuit Court for appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals for terms ending in January of 2014, 2016, and 2017.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken?
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Harness?
Yes.
Scarborough?
Yes.
Tobias?
Yes.
We do also need to continue advertising because we still do have one other vacancy on the BZA.
Okay. I think that's running as a, on the website, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Do we have a newsletter that will be coming out? Yeah, but I mean, like within, like the holiday? Yeah.
Just make sure it's in that.
Yeah, I was just asking. All right. ARB membership expansion. It was tabled. Any further action on that?
I'd like to have council direct staff to advertise for the open position on the ARB,
Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, sorry, to fill the spot vacated by Ellie Rancic. Secondly, I'd like to make a resolution to remove the matter of the membership expansion of the ARB for this council session up until ending June 30th, 2014.
Second.
Motion been seconded. Any discussion?
Why don't we talk to the people that already put in their interest for the planning commission
Well, I didn't know.
instead of
I
advertising?
didn't know of any. It wasn't in my packet that there was any.
No, there was previously. A couple months ago, when they just appointed people, they had a list of people. We see if they're still interested before we waste money in advertising.
Well, our
That's just a
advertising,
It's on our
we don't
website.
spend money to advertise as we put it on the website.
It's on the website.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
And
You
I
said
think,
advertise, that means
yeah, and
spend
I
money.
think past councils have had that whenever a new vacancy comes up, that it's been re-advertised for the positions rather than pulling from people that have already previously applied. So.
Are we just doing planning commission?
Yes, because the ARB
Her ARB
vacancy.
spot was the liaison.
Yeah, that's the PC liaison, and the
PC
planning
gets to
commission.
choose that person.
Yeah, the planning commission will be
Okay.
appointing a new liaison.
I guess I'm reading this wrong. This Ellie person resigned from both boards?
Yes, because she was on planning commission, but she was the planning commission's liaison to the ARB. So when she resigned from
Oh,
one,
okay.
she resigned from both. And planning
I
commission has it on the agenda for our November meeting to appoint a member.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was the cat.
Yeah, Kat had seconded.
Kat
Yeah,
seconded.
cat. All in favor, say aye.
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 And no one's opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Next item, policies.
Make a resolution resolution number 2012-1113-2. Be it resolved that Town Council of the Town of Haymarket, in accordance with the Town Code, that the following council rules and procedures be adopted as presented in the packet. I'm not going to read them all. An effective date of November 13th, 2012.
Second.
I have a motion that's been seconded. Discussion.
I'd like to go over them. I
Yeah,
have I
this is-
have some questions, but I think some of them are legal questions, and
I just think
maybe we
it's-
can put our comments together and review them and then do it next month. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going through it, but I made a lot of notes.
Yeah, and plus, I don't think we've had any discussion on this. I mean, we've had
I
one
think we should
person,
do it,
we had
yeah,
one
but-
person that sent out a resolution. We've had Lisa put in comments, maybe that just applied to the legal. Was that correct, Lisa? So we only had,
For legal.
exactly. Now, if you do a word comparison on this document here, every place where it says mayor almost has been replaced by the town council shall. So I'm not sure who did that, or the thought behind it, or the discussion that happened, but we've had no meeting, so how this actually occurred, maybe you can help share it, Rebecca.
Oh,
because-
comments I got back from other council members where I changed and modified things.
So it wasn't during any meeting, just for clarification?
No,
So this was a one-on-one email correspondence that was going back and
Verbal.
forth? Or
you know,
verbal?
I had sent, given everyone copies, asked them to get back to me with comments. Those that got back to me with comments, I made changes.
So can you explain to me why that you've taken out the mayor and replaced it with town council shall?
After our last work session, that did not occur. The behavior that was witnessed, it seemed in the best interest of the town to word it this way.
Okay. Well, I think I would agree with Mary Lou that this really, along with this procedure, which maybe is not a bad procedure, the initial one by Middleburg, but the revised and the red line copy of this one has concerns. It has concerns about the powers that you're going to take away from the mayor and add to the town council. That I'd want to make sure that we have legal weigh in on just those specifics and not specifics of maybe just of the legality of how it applies to our town attorney. So I would agree with you, Mary Lou, that I think this was the reason why I wanted to have this as a workshop to go over each of these points and go through it. Mr. Tobias.
You just asked the town attorney if she reviewed it for legal, and she did.
Legal, but the
told you
aspect of just whether or not the aspects of the town attorney's aspect, not whether or not.
No, she looked over the whole thing, but she doesn't get involved in actually our adoption of our policies.
Right.
Unless and she did review it to make sure that the policies as written here were not in
So these,
direct conflict with our code.
there again, I think this would be more of a workshop and not a town council meeting, that we should have this as well as other ones. There's a communication policy, and in lieu of just what's happened with emergency preparedness, we should definitely have something like that, a policy procedure for that. There should be a policy procedure for our police department for communicating with them. So there's a lot of policies that the town council should adopt, and I think by having a workshop, we should be able to go through these fairly. Yeah. Good, Mr. Weiss.
The last two workshops we tried to have, you've canceled, so I don't know why you try to schedule them. So I'd like to call for the vote on the matter of the resolution.
I second.
All right, motion's been seconded for the call for the vote. Roll call, please.
No.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion for the call for the vote. Now we can go for the vote.
Aiken.
No.
Fair.
Yes.
Harness.
Yes.
Scarborough.
No.
Weiss.
Yep.
Okay, this motion carries as it stands. I would note for the record, Jim, that I'd be talking to Lisa about my veto powers for this resolution as presented tonight. So, just for the record. All right, let's continue on. Initiate ZTA.
Well, it's now going to be resolution 3. I was still number 2. So this is what was in our packet as resolution 113-2, but it will now be 113-3 since I stole the number 2 from my previous resolution as an FYI.
Mr. Swearinger, maybe you could enlighten us on this initiative for the ZTA for the, I guess,
We have a request for a zoning text amendment to allow funeral home as an allowed use and a crematory as a special use. I believe that there is somebody here who wants to speak.
I guess maybe we can change the mic back around there. Sorry. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jessica Saxon with Walsh, Collision and Bly, and I'm here tonight with Clifford Glasses, who is going to be the property owner. He's currently the property purchaser, and we are available for any questions that you may have. We're working with Marshall Snyder and appreciate his help.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions?
Maybe just 1 minute, Mr. Mayor.
She's back here.
Out of curiosity, would there be cremation services performed at this location? Or would they be done on-site?
There will not be a crematory. It will be a funeral home, but not a crematory.
There says there's an attachment K, and was it in mine?
The agenda I put together, this was all shared.
I know, but I was just curious because it says the attachment K, and it's not there, so. That's right.
I'll make a resolution, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2012-1113-3 as documented here to send this to the planning commission to consider whether these amendments to the town code meet the furtherance of the public necessity, convenience, general welfare, and good zoning practice.
Second.
Motion been seconded. Any discussion on this?
Okay. Put it in there before I send it to the planning commission.
She's saying okay was going to be whether or not they were not
Well, they say they want it as a special use. Yeah.
That's why I asked them whether or not they're legal.
I know, but it says it in the paperwork.
They
Well,
want
sure.
because they want it amended that could be a possibility with an SUP or
Exactly.
if there's another, so,
Exactly. For future.
yeah.
Right.
Any further discussion for the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Item 8 on our agenda, temporary occupancy request.
The two property owners, Mr. Rady and Mr. Lambertosi, are asking for permission to allow one of the tenants, Snyder Baseball, to relocate from the Lambertosi building at 6630 James Madison Highway. Excuse me. I'm sorry. From 6612 James Madison to 6630 James Madison, which is the Rose Building. I believe the owners are here to discuss this.
My name is Jeremy O'Grady, I'm an attorney and agent on behalf of Rose Investments, and we have been working with the manager and planning director and with Holly, and I'm just here to respond to any questions that I might be able to answer.
Anything further, Gene? No. I think we have a recommendation on here, a draft motion.
No, it said staff was preparing a draft motion, and staff has not arrived from his public hearing in Loudon as of yet.
Okay.
Well, isn't it part of the supplemental
I think
package.
it's,
That's agenda item 5.
Is it in that one?
My only question is issuing the temporary occupancy permit, reading the document, it pretty much says that if they don't follow through, then all we'll do is send them a nasty letter and say, you've got to follow through on what you promised you'd do. I don't really see any enforceability of that, and once they've been given the occupancy, are we going to be the bad guys to say, you have to leave? So, I mean, I'd like to see something a little bit more teeth behind it to make them come into compliance with the site plan requirements. Because as it reads, I don't see where that's there.
I will say you could go pursue it zoning violations in court, which is a letter and follow up with paperwork to get their property owners to court.
But doesn't it say that a building occupancy permit will be issued upon completion of the required improvement?
Permanent occupancy.
Permanent.
Well, what I'm saying is you're going to give them a temporary, and then what do
Right.
you do 6 months from now, kick them out of it?
Well, if they don't do what's required. Absolutely.
I think that's harder than it says, than it seems.
Well, same thing's going to happen regardless if they don't do what they're supposed to do.
How do you make this work, Lisa?
Marshawn and I reviewed it. I mean, it's in compliance with the law. I mean, that's, whenever this ad nauseum about that. But, I mean, Jay's concern's valid. I mean, if you go to court, you have to take people to court, it always costs money.
Right.
Do we have a motion in for a...
I'd like to say, Mr. Mayor, on behalf of the property owner, that we anticipate that we'll be asked, not asked to be, I guess we'll be asked to be first and then required to move if we did not comply. That's my understanding of it. And I might say as a former city attorney for a number of years in Falls Church, I think that you have quite ample authority to remove us if we didn't comply with the terms of the condition of temporary occupancy.
The previous council
Thank you, sir.
took the leap of faith and did temporary occupancy for the Iceplex. So I see nothing wrong with, granting them the temporary occupancy and allowing them to complete this over time.
All right, would you like to make that part of the motion for 180 then?
Oh, I really don't want to have to read all that.
Say, as pursuant to this document.
Can I shorten it up, or do I have to read it as written, Lisa?
You definitely want to enumerate your stipulations.
Yeah, you need to.
Would you like me to take a video?
Oh, thank you, just 1A through, yes.
I move that town council approve a temporary occupancy permit for 6612 James Madison Highway, but expressly conditioned upon the following. Temporary occupancy of tenant space that is to be vacated will not be permitted by the building inspector, and a zoning permit will not be issued by the town council until the property owner has submitted a minor site plan modification application pursuant to Section 58.510 of the Town Code and addressing the following items. A, revised building square footage and revised parking tabulations to account for the expansion of next level fitness, i.e. the juice bar area. B, striping plan for loading spaces / parking spaces for all uses within the complex to include spaces that are to be continued to be used by tenants within the Rose Building. C, landscape plan identifying the landscape materials / landscape areas required by the previously approved site plan. Missing landscape materials to be planted / landscape areas to be installed. D, dumpster locations for all dumpsters and screening as necessary. E, additional site lighting is necessary for public safety. F, unless accounted for on the site plan modification, i.e. parking areas attributed to the businesses located at the property, recreational bus storage and storage of trucks / trailers
will not be permitted on the property without a requisite special use permit. I further move that site improvements required by the minor modification shall be completed by the property owners within 6 months of Town Council approval of the minor site plan modification. A building occupancy permit will be issued upon completion of the required improvements. Failure of the property owner to complete the required improvements within the timeline prescribed above will result in the suspension of the temporary occupancy permit, and a zoning violation notice will be issued to the property owner and tenant. To continue for the 6630 James Madison Highway Rose Building, I move that the Town Council, is this all one? Okay, I just want to make sure I shouldn't do two. I move that the Town Council approve a temporary occupancy permit for 6630 James Madison Highway, but expressly conditioned upon the following.
Let's amend that, make that too, make that the same.
Make that, okay. I will remove that last section.
All right, motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Motion second, in discussion? So that we're all clear, it's just on the first part of 6612.
Correct.
Great. Roll call vote, please.
And has the minor site plan modification been submitted for consideration? Has the planning commission did?
Yes.
Yes, the planning commission has seen it? Or no?
No,
It's been
the
submitted?
commission has not seen it. It's just
When was it
staff
submitted,
and
sir?
members have seen it.
When was it submitted, sir?
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
I mean, there's been a number of draft striping plans for the parking lot that have gone back and forth, so.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Harnes.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
And Tobias.
Yes. All right.
I can do
All
a
right.
little one if, unless you
Oh,
want to keep
keep going
All
here.
right.
What the heck? I move that the Town Council approve a temporary occupancy permit for 6630 James Madison Highway, but expressly conditioned upon the following. Temporary occupancy will not be permitted by the building inspector, and a zoning permit will not be issued by the Town Council until the property owner has submitted a preliminary site plan application and the improvements listed below are completed. A, striping of parking areas / handicap parking areas identified on the interim parking plan within the shared access easement. B, building inspector requirements for tenant upfit. C, cleanup and/or screening of outdoor storage building materials / equipment stored on the property. I further move that the final site plan shall be submitted by the property owners within 6 months of the Town Council approval of the preliminary site plan. Construction of the site improvements required by the final site plan shall be completed within 12 months of Town Council approval of the final site plan. An occupancy permit will be issued upon completion of the required improvements. Failure of the property owner to complete the required improvements within the timeline prescribed above will result in the suspension of the temporary occupancy permit, and a zoning violation notice will be issued to the property owner and tenant.
Have a motion on the floor that's been seconded. Any discussion on this one? Roll call vote, please.
I retire.
Aiken.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Harnes.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Tobias.
Yes.
Great. Thank you all for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Uh-huh.
Great job, Steve.
I need a drink.
Department reports, police report. How are you, sir, tonight? Good?
Good.
Great.
Questions, comments, or concerns?
I'd just like to say that you were quite busy in September.
Yes, sir.
And had quite a few good events with the Bike Rodeo and the National Drug Take Back Program.
Good job. Nice try.
Any questions for the
Nice
chief?
try.
Mr. Price?
So we got an email from the liaison requesting,
I was going to bring that up when he was finished, but we can bring it up now. We can bring it up now.
he said his 3 words, questions, comments, concerns.
Sorry.
Yeah, it usually means he's done. So, you know my feeling on the police department and your requests for items, et cetera, and I always tell you the same thing, which is go look for grants. There are grants out there for just about everything you would want underneath the sun, including a new car. Wish we would have known about that a couple weeks ago. But another thing I'd like to say about that and the request that Steve had emailed us about is we've got to be more mindful of these things going forward when it comes to budgetary time. Instead of being hit over the head with a big load of bricks, one small little pebble here and there doesn't hurt. So keep that in mind going forward, and I would suggest, again, that you look at, before the council makes any decisions on spending money that we may or may not even have, that we let the chief spend some time to look at the grants for what options are available there free of charge.
Any other comments from the council?
Just want to emphasize that we were not planning on asking for any money tonight. I have talked to the chief about grants, and we're going to look into those. What we are asking the council about tonight is whether or not we should move forward with trying to sell the old chief's car in anticipation of trying to use that funding to help supplement this. And that we are also getting 2 other quotes from other vendors that have contracts with whether it's the state police or other county police departments, whatever, just so that the council can have at least 3 quotes to compare and know that we've done our due diligence before we come and say this is what we need. In addition to that, my plan as being the liaison to the police department is, come this spring, is to start putting together working with the chief to put together a 5-year plan to get ahead of the budget curve here and be able to stabilize our planning for whatever needs there would be in the future, so that we can try to level them out over the next few years and plan for them in advance and get them into the budget process before the next fiscal year and so forth and so on. So that's my goal there, is to do that. Hopefully that will help in the future.
I do have a question. The jackets, does every officer have a jacket that's...
Jacket?
Yeah.
A vest?
The vest.
You mean a bulletproof vest?
Yes, right.
No.
So we have officers that are out on duty without that equipment.
That's affirmative, yes, sir.
So, and then some of the ones that have this vest are coming up to the expiration of them?
That's correct, yes, sir.
And which is obviously a safety concern as well. Because that's the reason why they have that data that's used and all that. Good. Mr. Tobias?
Based on what Steve just said and the request about the PD crews, I'd like to, if it's okay with council, to go ahead and allow or direct the chief to work with the town manager to sell the police cruiser pursuant to the town surplus equipment and goods policy, and to allow for any funds received to be added into the PD equipment line item once received for use as he sees fit.
I would actually like to ask that we table the discussion on the disposition of the vehicle until after grant funds have been able to be researched for the purchase of the vest, because if they are able to get grants to cover the cost, then I would like council to consider donating the car to the Northern Virginia Cigarette Tax Board.
Do you need a spare vehicle? Is there any spare vehicles if one of your cars go out of commission?
Here there is. There's a sport utility vehicle down there, the yellow one. That's a spare vehicle.
What, the red one?
You have it. No, you have a spare. That's what he said. Do you have one?
Oh, no.
I thought he said you need.
He said you need and then you have. He said you need, do you have.
Okay.
He said no twice.
Right.
We have a spare.
They have a spare, so we don't need more.
Yes, we have a spare.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the...
I'm cool with moving this till December.
All right.
Well, it's only 3 weeks away. We're not.
You're right.
We're not spending a lot of time here, and I hope to have a lot more information, those 3 weeks to come back.
Well, yeah, because the state contract, the state approved vests are considerably cheaper than what you guys originally sent out in your email.
Actually, I have the
assume they're-
state one here, and
There's multiple options under the state contract. Some are $1,100, some are $400, some are $700.
yeah.
So I'd say, like Rebecca said, why don't we just table this whole discussion until next month's police report?
That will allow us time to get more information on the grants.
Well, availability of grants.
Just-
We wouldn't
just a-
have grant
just a
funds come December.
Note,
so.
Steve, if you would, in the future, make sure you copy Lisa.
Okay. Sorry, I just did the
And
council.
And the town clerk. Anytime we respond to each other or send anything, you can
Yeah,
send it to Jen.
CC Jennifer on everything.
Any other discussion or comments for the chief? Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Building official report.
Should I send them?
I've already sent it to him.
Okay.
How you doing, sir?
Fine.
Great.
Hopefully everybody did it, nobody's got a lot of questions, or hasn't had a lot of questions. We have the answer.
I guess we issued the final occupancy for the Hullfish House.
That was done, yes, sir.
Yes.
One other issue that's not on the report that happened last week, and had to shut down the ice cream place, Pickle Bob's. Of course, it wasn't open anyway, but the sewer locked up, and it was pumping sewage down, about 15.
Lovely.
So I had the service authority come in and disconnect everything and shut it down. I understand the owner's been made aware that he needs to fix it. I believe, if I'm not correct, we couldn't find the main valve to straighten it up, but I believe the main valve is inside what was the old police station. Underneath the fence, I believe that's where it was. So, but they got to turn it off, and nobody in the worst parking lot down because it's a rainstorm. It's going to wash it away, and that happened.
Okay.
It was definitely broke, you could tell.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
Item number 4, met potential tenants on site at Durham property.
Yes.
Whom are the potential tenants?
Tenants are going to, they're doing baseball,
Soccer.
soccer. There'll be a soccer training arena way inside, part of the building. They had keys to it, and they asked me to go to it so they could tell me what they were doing, see if there was any major issues.
Are there?
The only major issues are electricity needs, because it gets jerked out when the other tenant moved out, because your tire just ripped plugs out of the walls. Need to be patched up, they want to do a little bit of work, no problem, as long as they get the permits to proceed with the reproducing. I believe they may be painting already, because I gave permission to go ahead and clean up the paint and do whatever they want, and they may be laying the floor as well.
Okay.
There'll be a lot for the kids to do.
That's right. Yeah. Kat?
Number 2, you met with the Princeton County Service Authority on inspections for that water sewer line under Sherwood Forest and onto Hunting Path. What were those inspection results? Anything, any problems?
They're not complete yet. The service authority has not sent them to me this morning when I called them. Said probably another week before we get them. They still got a few inspections to make on the Sherwood Forest side. Everything should be pretty well cleaned up. The pump's set on Huntingdale. And I've been watching myself. It looks pretty good. They did a good job with it.
And the tear up behind the townhouses on Brave Court and in that easement?
Yes.
All that's going to get cleaned up again?
It's all going to be cleaned up. The state's going to approve and do the inspections on that, as well as myself.
Okay.
For sure we're in good shape. But the big hole is already through the
Yeah.
the way Sherwood Forest houses are selling, and I don't think they're waiting much longer to drill that hole.
No.
We should have a full community very quickly. Okay, thank you
All
all
right.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report. Oh, that's simplified.
So what does the council feel currently in our general reserve, the line item is showing a balance of $268,454. But keeping in mind that $177,000 of that, $177,113, is actually from the proffers that we received. And does it make sense, does it behoove council to go ahead and reallocate some of or all of these proffer monies to the appropriate budget line items, or shall we create a budget line item for unencumbered proffers or unallocated proffers? Or do you just want to leave it there and keep in mind that 268 is not a real number? The concern is that as we go throughout meetings in the coming weeks and months, someone may think we have an abundance of funds that we may or may not have.
And these proffers are
Encumbered
very
by
specific on
designated
what they can be used for.
Right, there's $6,000 that is designated to be used by the Historical Commission of Haymarket, which may or may not truly exist, but we could put that into a museum. $54,000 Parks, Rec, and Public Works. We could be used for sidewalks, streetscape, other public improvements, recreational facilities, parks, etc. And approximately $101,220 for schools, at which we don't currently have any, but the town council could forward a portion of all of that to the Prince William County School Board or to a specific local school PTA. My thought process was the $6,000 for the historic resources to go ahead and allocate that to the museum programs fund in advance of Fran Marie's request that is forthcoming in the next month or so, as per her memo tonight. And in December, I'd like for council to discuss the Parks, Recreation, Public Works funds and the schools funds. How does everyone feel about that?
I'll be waiting until she comes back to us with her costs for her things for the museum. And then
Because it's all going to go there anyway. It's
Well, I
historic
know that, but-
resources.
see what she has first.
I think to do her job, she's going to need more than that, but this is just a...
But she's got $3,000 in the programs line item anyway. I mean, that would take her up to 9, and just to give her some leeway, which is why I was asking her about cost and funds.
I have no problem with that, and I mean, I think we should make a decision on the other monies. I mean, why sit on them? There's only so many things you can do with it, and we might as well make a decision and distribute it.
So the consensus, maybe for the 6,000, to go ahead and send it over to the...
I have no
museum
problem
line item, and then-
tonight sending that over, and then in
The other
3
two?
weeks, having time to think about schools and Parks and Rec on what the other funds to do with whatever consensus we come up with.
What's your thought, Rebecca?
I'm fine with doing it the way Jay just suggested.
Therefore, make a motion to reallocate out of general reserve $6,000 from the, is it Alexander's Keep proffer money?
Yes.
Alexander's Keep proffer revenues designated for historic resources to be used by the Historical Commission of Haymarket, allowing for the council to decide that those funds shall go to the museum programs line item of our budget for fiscal year 2013, increasing that line item up to $9,000 from $3,000.
Second.
Question and second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aiken.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Harness.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
And Weiss.
Yep.
Great.
One last question. What were the approximate amounts for the school and for the recreation?
Actual amounts are $54,000 even for Parks, Rec, Public Works, to be used for parks, recreational facilities, sidewalks, streetscape, and/or other public improvements within the town, and $101,220 even for schools, to be used for the improvement of public schools serving the town residents. The town council at its sole discretion may forward all or a portion of this contribution to the Prince William County School Board or to a specific local school PTA.
That included the escalators, right?
Everybody should have
See,
a
Escalators
one
are
of
separate
these.
to that. Escalators are a separate dollar amount.
It's on your
And which one?
Escalators,
One of the
council-
funds in,
It was in one of the loose ones that we got.
Escalators, last month, the council determined, at the advice of their attorney, that that money did not have to be divvied up
there it is.
according to the actual areas of the properties. The escalators were more of a secondary or supplementary amount. And council last month decided to keep that separate for use for whatever they saw fit. And so that's why I didn't include those funds in those schools, the Parks Rec, or the Historical Resources. Matter, just keep those, that 15, it's 15,893, keeping that in the general reserve for council for the coming 7 months as needed. Would be my suggestion, because your true balance, when you actually break it down for general reserves, is 91,341 for the next 7 months. And we've got a tremendous project ahead of us with the town center property.
Is that 15,893 available to be used for anything?
It's currently in the general reserve fund line item.
Okay.
It's available to use by anything council votes and agrees to do so with.
So we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Consideration of the proffers for Parks Rec, Public Works, and Schools.
Council questions, Barbara?
All right. Anything else? Any reports, sir?
I have nothing else for the report.
Town manager, welcome back.
Thank you. I would like to add one quick thing. The Sheets Corporation has asked if they have a truck that apparently goes to all their sites and distributes free coffee and drinks to whoever wants them. And if people want to donate, then the Sheets Corporation will give that money to a charity of the local town's choice. That truck will be here this weekend. They've asked if they could park in the town hall parking lot on Saturday, and then they'll be in the Sheets parking lot on Sunday. And they suggested that any donations they get, they'd like to give to the Haymarket Pantry. But I wanted to make sure it was okay with the council, because I think it's like a pickup-sized truck. It's not a huge truck.
Okay.
But it will be in the town parking lot on Saturday if it's okay with the council.
It's public parking, so
Do we have any other uses already planned this weekend for town center property?
The only thing I'm aware of is the folks upstairs work on Saturday a lot, so there will be some people parking here, but I think I told them to stay towards the grass and...
But there's no winter farmer markets or bake sales or anything crazy like that?
No.
No
Yeah, I
yard
think we'll
sales?
be getting the food pantry stuff together for the Thanksgiving baskets. I think that's this Friday and
Inside
Saturday.
here,
I think
though?
but I think we'll be giving them away Saturday, but a church is, one of the churches is handling it, so I'm not sure where they are on it. So,
okay. I don't see any
No issue
objection
from me.
And no objections.
All right.
Okay. Last week, we did receive 4 bids for the construction phase of the streetscape project. We've begun to evaluate, and also VDOT will have to evaluate the bids. The apparent low bidder was almost 10% higher than the indicating estimate that we have. So we're going to have to do some work with them and see how that's actually going to turn out. We've got to get with VDOT and have them review the bids also. So we should have, I think we'll have something for you specifically, maybe as early as the December meeting. The pedestrian signals have been installed. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't actually walked out there yet to test them.
I used it tonight.
Okay.
they seem to be working.
Good. The striping project, as you recall, the striping that was put down wrong. Holly went out and took some measurements, and we made some corrections. VDOT agreed to make the changes. the lines that have already been put down are already starting to fade because they were temporary striping. It was temporary striping anyway. I'm not sure the schedule for them, but they are going to come out, eradicate the current striping, and put the new in. That will include a what we're calling a bike lane in front of Giuseppe's. So there will be a white stripe out there. I think it's 4 feet from the face of the curb. And I'm sorry. Yeah. We also have received 4 proposals from A&E firms for the pedestrian improvements project. We haven't started evaluating those, and what we'd like to do is ask the council to select a member to serve on a kind of a short list committee to help us review the quotes that we've gotten and make a recommendation, a final recommendation to the full council.
Mr. Vice? Mr. Vice? You want to share? Mr. Swearingers?
I heard what he said.
Go ahead, Gene, sorry.
I would just ask if we could get a volunteer or from the council to serve as a member of the selection committee, or I guess we're calling it the short list committee.
Rebecca, you volunteer?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. And I somehow forgot to include this when I was out, but the status of the 2 houses, the very thing is now running, operating out of the Whole Fish House. She seems to be very happy with what's the way it's turned out. We did get the paving done. We've gotten the handicap parking spot installed and the walkway. I think overall it's turned out to be a pretty nice looking building. There's still some things that need to be done, but I think the thing for us to do now is wait and see how it develops. We'll be getting $3,000 a month in rent from her going forward, and we'll come back to the council if we feel like we need to do something else and see what we need to do at that point. We tried to set up the parking lot and the traffic movement so that we would somewhat not be too far away from what we think the final traffic movement will be when our engineering firm completes their work. But I just don't know. Right now, I was not here this weekend. I understand she had a lot of cars there. She indicated that there didn't seem to be any problem with the movement and the parking. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if we need to do anything else as far as time.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind with your master plan.
Sure.
With that type of development, knowing that that's going to probably be a very high volume on that end of the site.
And then the old post office, I will tell you that for the last month, all of my efforts have been trying to get this building closed out. So we also have, it looks like one of the contractors who worked quite a bit on this building will not be able to work on this building. So I'm going to be getting some new bids on the work over there to try to complete it as quickly as we can.
Any interest in that? Any from the sides?
So far I haven't had. I had a few early on. No follow-up. When I've called them back, they said they were going in a different direction. So, and I haven't really had anything in the last several weeks.
But remember also, this is sort of off the radar. If you're looking for this listing, you can't find it because of the fact that we're self-listing it on one sign, sort of like a for sale by owner. We don't have a broker or an agent that has it in the sort of the MLS of the realtor world,
Right.
Which all we're getting is somewhat drive-by traffic.
Well, it might be something we should consider once we get the building complete, but seeing how it's soon to be Christmas and it's not complete yet, and the original estimated completion date was August, I think once we get it complete, we could consider maybe trying to think about retaining the services of a listing agent, if that's what council decides to do. We don't need the income, although we certainly would like to recoup our costs. But, you know, if it happens to rent in the meantime, so be it. If it doesn't, so be it.
I just want to make a comment on the traffic study there at Washington and the light. They have come back saying that, you know, they don't think that there is a need for any issue. When it takes me half an hour to get from Heathcote to Cheyenne, there's an issue.
Unfortunately, VDOT only looks at it as safety concerns because their general consensus is sometimes traffic backs up.
You realize if you drive real fast from the bridge, you can make the turn at Cheyenne before a car comes, so you're just going to drive real fast? You can see, as long as there's not big cars in front of you. Been there, done that.
Any other questions for town manager? All right. Are we going to closed session? I don't know the update on that.
Yes, sir. For both of us.
Okay. All right. So we want to...
Under 2.23711A7, I move that council enter into closed session for specific purposes of consultation with legal counsel pertaining to actual probable litigation where such consultation or brief in an open meeting would adversely affect the negotiation or litigation, specifically including a streetscape project and also contract currently with the vendor with the town with activity.
So moved.
All right. All in favor say aye.
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 Mayor, how are you, sir?
Okay, call the meeting back to order.
Make a motion. I move to certify that only those items that were addressed to go into closed session were discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Can I make my motion?
You can't, but I will.
Yeah.
So moved.
Motion been seconded?
I'll second.
Seconded. Discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Usually do a roll call.
Yeah, but you certify each one?
Yes, please. Aiken?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Harness?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Scarborough?
Yes.
Tobias?
Yeah.
Great. All right, moving along. Council time.
Actually, 9-2.
Oh, correct. Yes, we have a motion. Sorry.
Make a directive from council to town manager to take the legal advice from the town's streetscape attorney in regards to the two properties. I don't know the addresses, but the properties owned by Dottie Leonard and the Raffertys, in regards to settlement offers and settlement of the property acquisitions.
So we want to make that a director or a motion, Lisa?
Directive.
Director.
Okay, great. So no vote. Okay, great. Council time. Mr. Aiken.
I had my say for the police department section. That was all I wanted to talk about.
Ms. Fair?
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Two conflicting opinions there on Jim's car, the burgundy car. Your opinion on selling it and using the money in his equipment line item for uses, whether they be offsetting the cost of vests or offsetting the cost of other materials that you guys have explored as immediate needs versus future needs that you're going to elaborate on in the future.
Right.
Do you have an opinion of the town donating it to a cigarette tax board that we pay money to, or versus taking the money and putting in the equipment?
The vehicle's not worth a lot.
Right.
With 170,000 miles on it, the Blue Book in a fair condition was like $2,500, and in good condition was like $3,200. So it wasn't. We're going to spend some money we got to pay overtime to probably some police officers to take the lights off and stuff. That's maybe a couple $100 there. So we got to prepare it, and then we got to advertise it. Now, that doesn't have to cost anything. We can do it on Craigslist or other things, but ultimately it may cost a few dollars to advertise it, try to sell it. Our net might be $2,000. Might be a little more, might be $2,500 if we're lucky. So it's not a lot of money. Donating it to a worthy cause is, at least in the fire department, we're always donating stuff rather than trying to sell it to other fire departments that have less fundraising than my fire department does. So I don't have a problem donating it. I have no clue as to whether or not this is a worthy donation. I know nothing about the cigarette board, tax board, or whatever. But to go to this work for a couple $1,000s, sure. I mean, it's a couple $1,000. It might be worth doing. But if there's a valid donation that makes us feel good, that it's the right thing to do, and it really helps somebody, that might be a very worthy cause also, and I'd consider either one.
Okay. All right, Rebecca.
When knowing how I'd like to donate to the Cigarette Tax Board, I also did some inquiries on values. You said Blue Book value on. That was for the police model or just that year Crown Victoria?
That year Crown Victoria at the lowest options. Because
when I went
the police model.
when I went to NADA, because Kelly Blue Book doesn't cover that.
Okay.
The range in price, for possibilities was $750 to $4,150. Now that is clean retail value at $4,150. The range was $750 to $2,200, being it as a clean trade-in.
Probably because
for a police vehicle.
Used.
Yes,
car.
because they take out the mileage, and so for a value that low, thinking, not knowing how we can get it, we collect how many hundreds of thousands of dollars from the cigarette tax we collect, and being a member of that board means we don't have to be the administrators of it, and we don't have to be the enforcers of it. I think this is a very worthwhile agency for us to donate this car back to.
Based on that, we're probably talking about no more than $1,000 to $1,500 that we might be.
And that would be
get
best
for
case
it.
scenario.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean that probably tilts it more, and maybe a donation makes more sense. And if we get goodwill out of them for doing that, that might be okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we're looking for goodwill, but it doesn't hurt.
Better than bad, right?
Always looking for goodwill.
Anything else on PC update or?
Most everything we covered during other times. Ellie's resigned. PC is going to be appointing a new liaison to the ARB when we discuss it at our next meeting. We already took care of the text amendments. We had them in the public hearing. We do have some others in the work that we're going to be sending forward. And our work on updating the comp plan continues. So.
Great. Mr. Tobias, any questions?
In regards to the reference back from council concerning the special use permit application for the funeral home / mortuary / whatever you want to call it, in the past, councils have had people approach them or entities approach in regards to setting up the same type of use on other parcels throughout town. And one of the bits of feedback given to many council members by many residents was a crematorium. And it was essentially, that was something that people weren't very friendly to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, noting Mary Lou's insistence about item K, and item K referenced the ability to possibly add the crematorium at the end, I would suggest that Planning Commission make sure that they consider that option, and striking possibly that option should the special use be approved and recommended for approval by the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Anything else? No? Stars?
Yes, sir. All right. One just a quick statement as the liaison to the ARB. Anything wanted, asked of, or required of the ARB needs to be directed to me via email, copied to Lisa and copied to Ken. This has not been happening.
And Jen.
And Jen. / and/or Sherry. so she's the one that runs the ARB meetings. There will be, in addition to the December agenda of Town Council, for some signage requests. The package will be available soon. Ken is working on that. Signage being that we are looking at getting some signs east, west, north, and south, redoing the Welcome to Haymarket, both as well as on Jefferson, Old Carolina, 15, 55, and at all access points to the town, and coming up with a plan for that. We are also developing bylaws for the ARB. Those should be available for review soon, just more of a, so you know that they are in process. And finally, the Certified Local Government of Virginia, it was initiated by the Department of the Interior Historic Preservation efforts, and we would like to actually pursue applying for designation as a certified local government. In doing so, I do have information for people to review prior to the December meeting, and it to be added to the December meeting for discussion. But a nice giant package for anybody to look at or look into. But preserving local historic ordinance for the designation and protection of the properties containing, and among others, provisions for establishing historic districts, delineated boundaries for districts, all things considered.
Do you have that electronically?
Yes.
Could you please email it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Mr. Advice?
On your sign package, et cetera, are you guys specifically just looking at Town of Haymarket welcome signs and entity signs, or are you looking at signs for businesses and such like that, and modifying the ordinances pertaining to business signs?
No, the signage that we are developing right now is welcome signs for the Town of Haymarket.
The Planning Commission's actually reviewing our sign ordinance for dimensions and signage for businesses.
Would that not be something that the ARB should work with the Planning Commission on, seeing how they are the stylists amongst us?
Well, we do dimension and code stuff, and then we send it to them for their aesthetics, and then it all goes.
Do we have an ETA on that?
No.
Can we make an ETA at your next meeting?
Yes.
To get us an ETA?
Yes.
An ETA for an ETA? For the delineation of the dimension?
I'll get an
Yeah.
ETA,
In other
an
words-
ETA of the
In other words,
possibility
council's
of
been working on it for about 3 years.
When's it going to happen?
And it ain't happening. And quite honestly, I have to agree with a certain restaurateur in town who believes that a sign that he has that he's been told is in violation, which technically is in violation, makes a whole lot of sense while the business is open. And quite frankly, I don't see why it's a big problem while the business is open, but if the business were closed and it was still on, that would be a problem. But we have numerous people here who have signs that are displayed in neon that stay open when they're well past closing hours. Secondly, on your little town, what is that thing?
This is how to apply for designation as a certified local government in Virginia.
As a certified local government ARB, or as
No,
a
as a
total
certified local government.
Would that not be something that PC should approach for, that should be given to PC?
No, because
to
it's
consider
part of the
first?
Historic Society, which is what the ARB is our
That's
designated
what,
ARB.
that's what I'm saying. It's more for ARB designation stuff, not.
No, but it would be for the town to be a certified local government.
So it would still have to go to PC.
Yeah, it's not something you pass next meeting.
Right, no, it's something that to look at and to
Discussion.
review and discuss.
Can we just say send it to PC now?
It was something that ARB needed to send to council
You just did.
for
You just
certified
did.
local government.
You just brought it to our attention. Can we
Yes.
take it under direction and send it to PC?
Why, yes.
And Lisa?
I would love to pass a copy
I'd
down.
like to look at it, too.
I mean, before you bring it to council, I mean,
Now, is
we're
this
just going to
being,
send it right back down to PC.
yeah, now,
so-
is this being sent to PC for them to start looking at, or you,
I believe the ARB is the one that actually has to apply for it, because we are the ones that control the historic significance and manage the
But you'd have to
historic
be directed
boundary.
by the council, and the council would take
Correct.
direction from the PC, so it would go PC.
okay, send it to
council, ARB.
PC for discussion.
Thank you. In other words, I don't want to see.
There we go.
In other words, I don't want to see it
Then you
till
don't have to
January,
email it to
February.
me? Thank you.
I only got one left.
Bob's just
I don't want it electronically.
Yeah, and I will email it to you. There's the entire thing, there's a website you can go to, as well as Virginia has established their version. You can see it on the bhr.virginia.gov, CLG. That's where I downloaded it from. And go from there.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Scarborough?
No, I think we've covered everything. I just wanted to make note that since they've regraded, repaved out here, there's a lot of water that's standing on the sides. I drove out at before 5 this morning in front of Giuseppe's, and water just went over
Yeah, so did I.
the top of my car.
Yep.
I mean, it was like crazy.
The puddle Giuseppe's is worse than it was before.
Giuseppe Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
VDOT
it's
is
just-
saying that the grade was not changed, but Holly has contacted them about
think it
this
has.
because obviously it has. I
Yeah.
mean, water
It
moved.
has a different crown or something.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
water just piles up.
It's,
Yeah, that-
it's piling on both sides.
I drove through it this morning too at
Yeah.
5:05, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, it was just like, whoosh.
Some of us purposely swerved to hit people on the porch with it.
Some of us throw beer bottles from the porch. Oh, well.
All
Okay,
right.
but that's it. I think we've covered it.
Thank you. Mr. Tobias?
Well, since Milt's not here, I'll ask for him. Are all the lights in town working properly?
Jen says, I don't know, I just got back in
Because
town.
I noticed there's a globe in the office back there.
We still have...
And we have a couple
You've
other
been here for
broken.
like 12 hours today. You don't know.
I do know some are broken as well.
Okay. Green Hill Crossings, there's got that, it's been sheared off for a couple of weeks now. That very last one. Okay.
Since Rebecca didn't bring it up,
Yeah, I realized that, and I was going to go back and ask, but good, thank you for covering
since
it.
Rebecca didn't bring it up, I'll bring up the memo from Rebecca to you, David, concerning the efforts
Yeah,
for
so
the
let me
hurricane.
go to her question.
As I'm speaking, I'll continue.
Go ahead.
I have to agree that the efforts are commendable, and, you know, I don't know why you didn't include the rest of us in on your endeavors. I would have loved to have had a chance to get my neighborhood to participate, you know, for those who aren't part of the church. And, you know, I think it's again, a commendable endeavor and et cetera. But in the future, you know, if you're going to try to undertake something on behalf of the town as the town mayor using the town mayor's title, it would just behoove you to fill us all in so we can all choose to participate as well, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for your comments there. You know, if you'd like to, some kind of explanation of the timeline of events, I can show you a blog that kind of gives you an idea.
Well, no,
But your question was specifically, why did I contact any of the other members of the council? Is that the question? Number one, no time. There was zero time for it. There was zero contact time. Never even considered it. This was for my company that we made this convoy of
Well,
fuel trucks.
unfortunately, according to, some people must have misunderstood.
Yeah. But in an endeavor to send some relief effort up there, the idea was to put some the food articles inside the trucks that we were actually doing. And then as the day developed and we actually were acquiring these fuel tanks, that we turned out to fill up a 6x12 truck. Now, and if I had had time, but if I contacted any more people, number one, we wouldn't have been able to take the supplies up that we did get. But never even considered, never even thought about contacting the
Okay,
council members,
because-
it wasn't a town endeavor, as you might
Okay,
say.
because there's been a great deal of speculation as to this. I've heard it was the Baptist church that did it. Then I received phone calls, had business owners that asked me questions, other residents asked me, and a posting from Inside Nova from a member of Haymarket Baptist Church very clearly says, the mayor of Haymarket, David Lake, advised that the town of Haymarket is taking a caravan of trucks to New York.
Well,
And the Boy
incorrectly
Scouts sent out an email saying that I received a phone call this morning from Haymarket Mayor David Lake about relief effort.
Yes.
This does give the illusion to other people that this was a town event.
Right. Well, besides being the mayor of the town, I'm also facilities manager for the company I work for. So this was definitely a company, if you look at the blogs, a company endeavor that then happened to reach out, which everybody, is more than capable and I'm sure want to to reach out, just like we did to the homeless girl up at Walmart this past week, if you're all familiar with that. So by doing so, knowing that she had a need, I made a few phone calls and got some blankets sent up to her. But, it's helping people out. I don't think that, maybe we do look at it to where we have a volunteer central location or communication person that we coordinate all these people's efforts.
Well, as I said, the reason I asked the question was, I had people calling me, texting me, emailing me, talking to me in public, wanting to know about the town's event because of what they read on Facebook and what they heard from neighbors.
Yeah.
So
And
when
what they
people
read on
were
Inside Nova.
Yeah, what they read on Inside Nova. So when people hear that the town is doing an event, when other council members are asked and have to look at people and go, what are you talking about? To where, when you use the title of mayor, and I'm sorry, this poor woman from the church.
I don't see any, can you show me any of the documentation that where I actually sent something out?
Well, no, one was a phone call to the Boy Scouts, and the other was this woman saying that you approached them at the church to help with the town's effort.
Yeah, well, that was incorrect. And I'm sure if you talk to Mrs. Fries, the director there, that she will clarify your misinformation there in the newspaper.
Well, I'm just looking at the fact that this woman, Monica, had posted on other people's pages trying to get the support, and then she shared hers with that.
Right.
So, with, businesses wanting to know why weren't they, contacted, to where, when we had to clean up the town of Haymarket after Haymarket Day, it took 3 Facebook posts in an hour to get 30 people here to clean up the town. It took an hour and a half. So if using the title of mayor, where people can assume it's a town-sponsored event, picking up the phone call and calling 1 or 2 council members so they can get it out to everyone else, it could have been so much more than it was. Because it started off as a pickup truck convoy. I would have driven to New York in my
Especially that you
truck.
called numerous folks on council that Friday afternoon as well. And you spoke to some people on council that Friday afternoon. You could have gave everybody a heads up. That's all I'm saying. Next time,
Yes, as I said this was a wonderful thing, but
we'd love to help.
This didn't
But you didn't give us the opportunity, but yet, as the mayor, you took all the blessings that came with it. So, that being said, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Yay! Ay, ay, ay.
Cocktails. I can show you a picture of mine from a party I went to. Lisa, to overturn the veto, it just takes a supermajority, which is 2/3, which is 4. Okay, thank you.
Hi, John.
Hey, Rebecca, can I talk to you 2 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you parked either near my truck, or are you parked more up front?
I am parked immediately up front.
Okay, we want to be really sweet.
Good
Can
night,
you
all.
put this in your
Thanks,
car,
sir.
and then I'll grab it at Giuseppe's?
Yep.
I'll be there momentarily.
David, if you're signing on the resolution, make sure the one that says 600 Washington Street is correct.
David, I'll fix it all up.
Okay, we'll stop by tomorrow.
Yeah, if you were showing my
Yeah.
later to verify.
We on for lunch tomorrow, sir, before you leave?
Jay or Gina? I don't think Gina. And that's the basis that you can deny that. Well, that's why they want the text. Right, but, okay.
Yeah, I think we're all
I said
on
just
the same
make
page.
sure where, however you look at it, though, is we've got to couch it. It doesn't have to come from.
Yeah, and, if that's being discussed, a funeral home, they would give you a friend. But, yeah.
No, it's not really.
Okay. And now that we're turning on just for this right now, the children's play zone, I don't think it's stop on just for school one. And the only spot that could possibly be is back on the Durham property, but with the soccer place going in and that kind of stuff, there